No antics, no vantics on the road. I'm in the van with the merch and Tabone, and we are cruising. We're about to take 40 out to 70. We're going to Columbia, shoot some content on our way to Lawrence, Kansas. Checked out some music stores to stop by, some, what's the word? Natural resources, no, conservation areas even. And, we thought we were all going to be in one van with a trailer, but we all forgot, and I should have known this, that there was, when you hook up a trailer, there's also an electric component somewhere in the hookup process that coordinates the lights on the trailer with the dadgum lights from the car. Well, I didn't mention that to anybody. I grew up with boat trailers. I grew up with construction trailers, and I should have known that. I played with those dangerous connections as a child. They dangle. So, Dee Dee, Miles, and Molly are in the Toyota, and Tyler and I were just talking about maybe the most premium minivan experience. It's not even really mini. Is this a full-size van? It's a full-size, three rows.
I guess
3 with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full bench in the back, 2 buckets in the middle.
Yeah.
Honda Odyssey.
2016.
It's a 2016 classic. That's a good year for a Honda Odyssey.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. That is. I've had examples. I've collected examples. My friend Mary, who actually I've talked about doing an episode of the pod about something totally unrelated, has a silver Honda Odyssey. Beautiful, glittery silver. And she's got 3 kids, and they have friends. And so the Honda Odyssey is they used to live in it. When they had dance classes, they would get pizzas to go from the Twin Oaks, and they'd go sit in the van at the dance studio and just live in this thing, and I could do it. If it was just me and you and me could live, you and me could cohabitate in here.
Yeah, we could put a bed.
That reminds me of Robot Chicken, when the 2 astronauts are going to Mars, and it takes a long time, right? So they just check in with them every couple hundred days. It's like mission to Mars, day 578. They're sitting here in silence. And then one of them just says, "Stop farting."
I remember Robot Chicken. I remember that.
That it was the best one. Or maybe that was Prometheus and Bob.
Oh, wow, you're really taking it back.
Yeah, I'm old, Tyler.
I know, I remember Prometheus and
I'm
Bob.
33 years old.
Both those shows were like real quick. They were like,
Yeah, it was a moment. That was the whole scene.
Yeah.
Was mission to Mars, day 576. They're sitting there in silence, facing forward like we're doing right now, and one of them just turns to the other one and says, "Stop farting."
Yeah, you're in a very small
Right.
space.
Yeah, and they're there for days and days and days.
Both those shows were like stop motion, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. Claymation.
Yeah.
Clamation.
I was super into stop motion as a kid.
Yeah, we watched a lot of like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
And then that kind of the stop motion merged into another form of animation where they look goopy, but it's digital. But I like it.
When I was like a kid, I used to have like wrestling figures, and I used to like do stop. I would like do stop motion with it, like make matches with the wrestling figures.
That's so creative. Would you take like pictures?
Yeah. I would take one picture, move it, take another picture.
I was so wasteful. I had tons of great action figures, and I just didn't really think about what to do with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they weren't in the boxes, so like I could play with them. But I should have been.
I would even like. I saw.
I was just horrified of anything that cost money. We got to go to that Nike store.
Right now.
Pull over.
Get a jumpsuit.
To get a jumpsuit, dude. I saw the Barcelona Nike Tech suit. You know what though? A lot of the Nike Techs, I'm shopping for different colors. I was at Deerberg's last night over by Molly's, and no, I went into a Schnucks at Gravois actually, and because it was open a little bit later, and they had this gentleman walking in front of me was wearing all black except for he had the most beautiful peach. He said they were Air Force Ones.
Ooh.
Really, really lovely with like a gum sole, like the dark.
Yeah, peach is a good color.
It was breathtaking. There's also different shades of red they do that I want to try out. And what were we talking about?
Stop motion and jumpsuits.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing a lot of fleece-lined jumpsuits right now.
Yeah.
I don't need the fleece because the regular Nike Tech is warm enough for me. I run hot.
Should we just become a jumpsuit band?
Well, I'm going all.
You're in your jumpsuit.
Yeah,
band.
I'm in my jumpsuit era. It's tracksuit actually.
Tracksuit,
They're not.
yeah.
A jumpsuit is connected, and when you're built like me, you don't want to be connected at the waist. Yeah. But the Nike Tech in a 3X gives me adequate coverage and comfort and maneuverability. And not a sponsor. I don't know what I'm doing. I get way into brands and a specific thing. Like I had a huge collection of JHS guitar pedals for a long time.
Are there bands that? Are there any like jumpsuit band or tracksuit band?
Tracksuit. I mean, there's that not ACDC. What's that band called? Beastie Boys.
Did they do?
There's that Beastie Boys tribute band in town that they do the Adidas tracksuits.
Okay,
But you know, I just think it's comfortable, and you know, I have a lot of friends and colleagues in communities where they wear Nike stuff every day, all day, and it's comfortable, but it's also elevated. It's like it's sort of like in certain circles gives designer, but it's kind of like the McDonald's of athleisure.
If we get the budget, yeah, we could just become.
That's the thing; they are expensive. If we go Nike, it's $180 a pop unless you get them on sale out of season. So, but they're, you know what, they clean nice. You just wash them cold, and then you inside out, and then you hang them up to dry. And the colors are so vibrant. And I had a dog in my lap the other day, and I was terrified he was going to tear it, but not a single tear in my Nike Tech.
Just hair.
Just hair. And we're back. Added a microphone for Tyler. I think the Road Pod is always it's a fun tradition, especially because I fucking hate sitting in the car with nothing to do. And I'm a natural entertainer. And I like to talk to people and really take them on a journey with me into where my mind is going. And I'd like to use that trajectory for them and see like exactly where I can go with what they're dealing with. Yeah, that's the word.
Extroverted.
Well, sure. I think it comes from a deep-seated place of insecurity, historically, not anymore as much. But my reaction to most things is insecurity. I always assume things are bad and that they're mad at me.
Yeah.
Not just that things are bad, but that it's my fault. If I was just a better child of God, the world could heal. My mother could have been happy. If I had just, been...
Deep-seated.
And that's the guilt and the fear that built civilization. Being terrified for generations of not doing enough for your community is what pushed people to be great. People think that you have to figure out exactly what the finish line is and get to the finish line and say, I did it, I'm done, right? And that was kind of the problem with the last couple generations of older people, I think, maybe. Is they're like, what? Let me off at the top. And, which is not their fault. That's the trajectory they were on. But I've actually learned this from... I'm really into interfaith, collaborative efforts, things that people who identify as Catholic can learn from Islam, for example, or things that Lutherans can learn from Jews. Don't be afraid to get loud. Who you there's nobody. The only thing that could happen, I know, but that we're on a podcast right now, and so one thing that I really learned about that's a Honda Odyssey with a hitch.
Do they have the light connected?
Let's pull up on them and see if they. Excuse me, fellow Odyssey driver, do you have a hitch?
Well, they have the hitch. We need to know if they have the light.
Do they have the light hookup with the hitch, sir?
Dangling? Can you see it?
I don't see nothing dangling. I don't see anything. I don't see a thing.
Oh, they have it.
Where?
See see it? It's right next to the.
Oh, and it's covered with rubber.
Like tucked in.
Yeah.
Hold down. Ask them how they did it.
No. I'm gonna give him a thumbs up though. Honda Odyssey Club. He hates me. You should have seen the disdain on his. Yeah, he's a disgruntled Armenian, I think. And I don't mean that, but I think I know him.
Nailed it. Oh, he's getting behind us now. Oh shit.
No, he's just getting out of the way of this traffic here. You cleared the way for him. He's happy about it. Yeah, you know what I love to do is
he's probably talking trash to me. So, oh, he doing it.
The only thing I would add to the Honda Odyssey is a V8.
What do you mean?
This is 6 cylinders?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd need 8.
Why?
To haul ass, Tyler. I did that to you earlier. I kept asking you why. But I felt like it was productive. See, it wasn't like when a child does it. I was really interested in, well, let's really get to the thing that makes it real.
We're starting to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. And so, on the road again. For the very first time for Tyler. Tyler's ever been on the road?
Well, with a band.
With a band, you're right, correct. And when you get to be my age, that's the. I'm joking. That's the old guys are always like, well, we were on the road. We were in blah 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 blah.
Did BBS ever tour?
Yeah, we've been to Dayton a couple times. We've never done like a progressive lined up tour. Blinded by Stereo, hot new music coming from them. I just heard some new vocal takes and some new bass tracks and some new stuff in the can with our Emmy Award winning producer and colleague. And we got lots going on. We're going to be at the Worldwide Technology Raceway again in June for the Confluence Music Festival. This year, Ludacris is headlining. Also, we're in the talks to potentially have a gig this summer with one of my heroes, the one and only Bret Michaels. But the exact date and location is not 100% to me yet, so I'm not going to mention it officially, but look out for that. You'll find all that stuff at jacobv.com/live. Okay, so there's a Poison Greatest Hits collection, and the last song is Nothing But a Good Time, but recorded live in St. Louis at what was probably Riverport at the time.
Yeah, I still call it Riverport.
Because, like, after the first chorus, he goes, "What's up, St. Louis?" or something, or "Come on, St. Louis," and my mother loves Bret Michaels.
So does my mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's a mom thing.
Yeah. You know who I love that's kind of my generation's equivalent is Robin Thicke. Have I ever talked to you about Robin Thicke?
No.
I was seriously last night watching Robin Thicke on YouTube, and there was an instance where, I was out at a bar and I was, enjoying the fellowship of a peer. And we were going to take the party back to my mom's place where I lived. And so I said, I really need a good soundtrack for this evening. And so this was in the iTunes days. I didn't have Spotify yet. And so I went in, hammered drunk, and I bought $35 worth of Robin Thicke on iTunes. And I actually have always loved Robin Thicke since Lost Without You came out. I was still kind of young then, and that was the first time I heard about him. But I was into Prince already, and so I was really into just any kind of like groovy falsetto-y kind of thing, and Lost Without You was a massive hit, for at least at the time, comparatively biggest one for him yet at that point. And I went to buy the CD at Street Side Records in the Loop. I used to buy a lot of CDs there, but they only had the deluxe version of The Evolution of Robin Thicke, and it was like $20, but they had his earlier record, Beautiful World, for like $11. So I got that one, and I used to keep it in this little. My grandmother got it for me from a garage sale. It looked like it was supposed to be Louis Vuitton, but it was just a shitty vinyl Rolodex of CDs. But it had like a kind of a bastardization of the Louis Vuitton print on it, and one of the CDs that would always be in there, Beautiful World, Robin Thicke, and I blasted that mammer jammer, and then later I had much more of the catalog, such that you get with $35 on iTunes in 2012.
Yeah, once we take a break here, we can.
Oh, dude, we're going to go thick for sure. There's going to be thick on the road. We're going to be roaded up with the thick.
Is he thick or is he like?
You can tell he keeps control of it. He looks like he could have been. He's real tall, and he stays pretty lean, but he's not scrawny at all. So like you could tell that. There'll come a time where he's pushing 3 bills. There will come a time, but you know what? Maybe not. His dad was like a formidable opponent, but never a heavy guy. I don't know anything about his mother. His dad was Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
From Growing Pains.
Yeah.
R.I.P. He just died last year, maybe. Those Popeyes wings look too spicy. There, I said it. It had to be said.
They're probably not.
They're probably not. They're just that color. The Popeyes by where I work is so bad, it's not even worth going to.
I've still never had that chicken sandwich.
It's really good. I was fucking it up for several times it came out.
I remember when it was like the craze. I just never did it. No. I just never thought of it.
But now everybody does one.
It's just a chicken sandwich.
It's really good, though. It's crunchy. It's seasoned nice. The bun is lovely. The sauce. The spicy one's really good. The McDonald's Spicy McCrispy is too spicy. It has a chemical... We've talked about this on the show. It has like a chemically kind of burn to it that you would expect from a synthetically spiced McDonald's dressing, but it's... the Popeyes is definitely better, but everybody has one now. Panera has a fried chicken sandwich now.
Chicken, right?
You get the McChicken, and you can pretty much always get the hot and spicy McChicken, but they're like $2 now.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a Popeyes right there. I've eaten at that Popeyes with my mother at the Travel Center. Is this Wright City yet?
We used to have 24-hour Walmarts and $1 chickens.
24-hour Walmart. I think closing between midnight and 6 a.m. is fine.
Yeah,
but that's what it should be.
Very civilized.
That's what it should be. Because sometimes you do shift work, you get off work at 10 o'clock, you need wet wipes, and you need a rotisserie chicken.
It was kind of lawless when it was 24 hours.
Oh, brother, I used to go in there, and we would just... what's that cheap wine they have there with the owl?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Owl something. We would just pop a bottle of Owl in the Walmart.
In the Walmart, yeah.
Because it was like worst case scenario, they yell at us and we give them $4 for it because that's how much the bottle was. But like, let's go pop a bottle of the fucking Owl and whatever it was called and walk around the Walmart and
I've done that, but just with like sodas and shit, not alcohol.
Oh, I'll eat a chicken in line.
Yeah.
That started from North Kirkwood Middle School in 6th grade. Was the first time we ever had that lined lunch where you had options. And me and Dan Smith, shout out. He's doing well, so I can shout him out. He did run into some trouble online at some very sensitive points in our nation's history, but he's fine. And we would just eat whatever we had picked up while waiting in the line, and then just show her the containers, like a.
As long as you still pay for it.
Right. Right.
Have you ever like noticed like sometimes you'll be in the aisles and like someone left like half-eaten rotisserie chicken?
I like when somebody puts something that doesn't belong somewhere back where it don't belong.
Yeah, like you'll see like a rotisserie chicken in like the canned vegetables aisle or something.
Yeah, or somebody will put some ice cream in the produce. I'm like, you had to come back here to do this?
Yeah.
And the sad thing about Walmart is any of the food that gets returned, which is far too much, they just throw away, I think. That's the Tiger King food.
That's like any grocery store, too.
But
I remember I used to work at a lot of grocery stores, and like...
A lot of them?
Well, maybe like... I worked at a Schnucks and a Save-A-Lot. And it's like as soon as the bread is like out of date or whatever, they just throw it all out, and it's like so wasteful. It's like still good bread for like a little bit longer.
Well, we used to go to the Thrift Bakery.
Yeah.
which was soon to expire baked goods. It used to be over on Gravois by that bridal warehouse. Like Gravois, right before you go into the dip after Bevo, you're going east on Gravois after Bevo, but before the bridal warehouse, there was a thrift bakery. And there was one on Gravois over by where that drive-through Dirt Cheap is now.
Oh, yeah.
By the Hebrew Cemetery. So that's what I'm thinking about. Who is going to the Ruiz Castillo?
What is that?
The Mexican restaurant.
That's probably a fire restaurant.
It's not open right now. It's a little early in the morning for Mexican.
Tree service?
You want to fuck up a road date? Eat Mexican at 10:52 in the morning.
I like how there was no company name. It just said tree service. Tree service.
Just call the number.
Just call it and see who
Listen,
comes.
you got a tree? Call this number. What do you need me to name my business?
Oh, a DG Market.
What's a DG Market?
Dollar General Market.
Oh, what? How is that? Is it bigger?
I guess it's like...
It's a premium Dollar
like
General?
A miniature Walmart. Yeah.
Dollar General's a scam.
How the fuck does Dollar Tree even still exist in this economy?
I think it's all like $1.50 now, or $1.79. When we got stuff for the SpaghettiOs video, the Fembots video, I don't think anything was actually just $1. And some people, some older people still call it the 99-cent store. And
it's funny, I've worked at a Dollar Tree before, and you would not believe how many people would come up to you and be like, is this $1? Is this $1?
Oh, yeah. My brother would do that when we were kids. We go to the dollar store.
I said, yes.
And me and my brother, I can't remember which one of us did it more. Clay was probably the one doing it more, but he would check. Maybe I checked, because I was more anxious. One of us was checking. They'll be like, are you sure this is $1? Because I really want this, and it feels like this should be more than $1.
Well, like, there's signs everywhere where it's just like everything is $1. It's just, it's just funny. I once had a woman, she was like middle-aged, and like, when I was cashiering, I cashiered at the Festus Dollar Tree for a little bit and saw a lot of characters. And one time this woman, like middle-aged, something was going on with like her card or something. And it was like giving her trouble, and she just broke down in tears, like crying to me about all kinds of shit going on in her life. And I was just like, look, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to help you.
Yeah. You just gotta throw money at those people. It was
like one of those...
You gotta say, ma'am, here's $100. Get the fuck out of this line. It was
just one of those things where it's like, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
I've seen that at Walgreens. They'll hear their copay for their Adderall, and they'll just fall apart.
Yeah.
All to pieces.
I wonder how that woman's doing.
She's probably dead.
Hopefully not. I mean, she wasn't that old.
I mean, but was she living hard? She was crying at the Dollar General.
I mean, it was Festus, so yeah, everyone's living hard.
I'm gonna pray for her. What was her name?
I can't remember.
Melanie.
I was like 20.
From Festus.
I was like,
baby Jesus God, awesome and powerful creator of the universe, please shine your light upon Melanie from Festus.
Shine a light on everyone in Festus.
Dear God, please be with the community of Festus. Nothing specifically happened today that I know about, but just in general, it's been too hard there for too long. You know, my grandfather used to always say that about Festus. He said it's the Palestine of South County. And I said, I don't think that's the preferred. I don't think you can say that.
It's kind of far from South County. I know what he's saying.
But that's what people don't understand about Palestine. Yeah. It's not that weird for them to want to be over there on their own.
Well, yeah. Free Palestine.
Yeah, I guess for the record. Free Palestine. And
Festus is kind of like starting to pop off though. Like it's kind of getting big.
What's getting big?
Like Festus, like they're building a lot of shit down there.
Do they have a Lion's Choice?
I think so, actually.
They have a Lion's Choice in Festus?
I think so.
Girl.
They just put up a KFC.
Boom, boom, boom,
and
boom.
Like, so like the highway going into Peevely is 3 lanes, and it like merges down to 2 lanes. But there's like a lot of traffic going into Festus, and now I heard that they're going to expand a 3rd lane down to Festus. Everything's getting bigger. Started with South County, and then Arnold, and then Peevely and Festus.
In that order?
Yeah, in that order.
It's sad. I don't know which part of it is sad. Just the displacement of populations is sad. If it was up to me, you know, there'd be a waiting list at the parish preschool down the street from my house.
You ever seen the Instagram account, Cars Destroyed Our Cities?
Oh, that makes sense.
It's kind of a sad page. It'll show you, like, what this town used to be. And then it's just like, oh, look at all this huge, like, look at these neighborhoods that got wiped out for these mega highways.
Well, and then I thought you meant more culturally what people
that too.
People chose to spread out and isolate and segregate because they could get farther.
Because we could have built a lot of states and shit not so car dependent, but I guess there's more money.
Well, that's the thing. You have to. Nobody is obligated to think in the long term, which is something when you think about the original caretakers of the land we're on right now, the native and indigenous peoples, and how they would plan generations down the line. We don't do that. We have to plan on futures of the resources that our shareholders are invested in.
Yeah, we do not take into consideration the future very much.
So, even if ultimately it would be a better investment for the human race to go a certain way on a specific decision, if I'm holding assets the other way,
because like we could do like tram systems and shit, but like we don't want to do that.
Like I'm not going to block a token on Catan if I'm touching that space. If I'm going to get a wheat every time you roll a 6, I'm not going to put the robber or the pirate on that wheat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really what it is that the problem is when you stay invested in wheat for 120 years, you start to cause a disbalance, an imbalance.
Relying on wheat?
I mean, as an example.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, on the road
shit.
again, there's the guys. Molly should be driving. Molly should be driving. You should.
True.
Everyone that's driving should be driving.
Should we just match speed the whole time?
Yeah, we should. Yeah. My friend Allie used to want to do that. She used to want to get everyone's cars on 44 and fan out across the lanes and lock in at the same speed.
Oh.
I'm like, Molly, the cars don't even match.
Is it 3 lanes?
Back in the whip, we had to take a quick break to listen to some Robin Thicke and also get a fucking driving lesson from the people in the Toyota. They called us to tell us that the left lane is for passing.
But we're in a 2-lane highway.
But we only had 2 lanes, and there's nothing but fucking trucks out here. So I don't want to hear it. And I'm not even driving, and I got a phone call on my phone telling me how to drive on this highway that I'm not even driving on. I am a passenger. I've already explained this to Spotify and Pokemon Go that I am a passenger.
That's like double backseat driver.
Oh my god. But apparently Molly got pulled over for one time for driving too much in the left lane.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I've never heard of
But
anyone
also I haven't seen a police officer who probably make me feel good to be pulled over to know that I'm safe out here. I mean, we are going to get back to the days of the stagecoach robbery. We're going to do a Fast and the Furious style heist. We're going to pull a couple of Honda Civics up to a truck full of DVD players. Because there's no police out here, especially not on a beautiful Saturday morning. They're all solving murders inland. We're out here on the open road.
I'm surprised we haven't seen like a speed trap or anything.
Not a one.
Not one.
I haven't even seen a way station open. I mean, they're just going to leave. Here's the thing, guys. When the infrastructure collapses, people are just going to quit going to work. And then they're not going to tell us. They're not going to say, hey, don't drive on the highway because there's nobody. Because that would be crazy. That would create more problems than it would solve. They're just going to, they live in the hope that the fear of their presence influences positive behavior. And I'm here to tell you, someone's going to have to come get me because I'm going to act a damn fool until otherwise. There's a reason I didn't wake up the next morning on that trolley platform because somebody intervened and said, sir, you can't sleep here.
Does the trolley even work in Dublin?
No, nope, and it ruined miles of that whole area. I mean, it's a travesty. And if it was up to me, we would bring Joe Edwards into a tribunal, and we would have to plan swift, aggressive justice to restore the damage to the community. I don't see another way forward. Nikki Haley dropped out of the race for president. You've been following this at all? You're good.
I heard, yeah.
And Nikki Haley's actually Indian. And I mean from the Asian subcontinent of India.
Yeah.
And Biden's State of the Union address happened. I could hardly listen to any of it. Not because I specifically don't like him, but I don't like the whole situation, really. And State of the Union, I don't know that I've watched a lot of those.
Yeah, it's a scary election year once again.
Once again, I like RFK. I don't know why they haven't killed him.
I was going to say, if he gets elected, they're just going to shoot him.
They're not going to... I mean, they would shoot him before that. If it even looks like it was viable. I mean, he's so easy to kill. His voice got better.
Just don't drive in a drop top.
His voice has improved. He had a titanium bridge implanted in his throat in Japan. And they went with his wife, Cheryl, and they would move the bridge around in his throat, and they would have him count, and they could adjust his forthcoming accent with the position of the titanium bridge they put in his throat. It's called spasmodic dysphonia. I have a friend who has it. And there's all kinds of different treatments and different time frames for how long they work and really the effect. And but that one seemed to work for him. So I'm going in all. I have my Bitcoin is up over $1 now, so I'm going to invest in titanium.
Cash in.
I'm going to cash in. I'm going to diversify with titanium. I really need to check on my stocks.
Cash in and ball out.
I don't even know if I'm logged in on my app. I was taking such a bath on Palantir that I really had to step away and not monitor it so much. I just thought, oh, this is genius. I'll get in with the CIA on their plan to rule the world. See, I'm not even logged in on this app. That's what happened. And watch. What if I open this and I'm a millionaire? What if
that
I
would solve a few problems?
Do you know how much nicer the hotel would be tonight if I open this up and Palantir is killing? Yeah, welcome back. Oh, God. Nope.
Oof. Stonks, man. They're hard.
Stonks. Oh, all time I'm up, though. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This was $50. Now it's $26.89.
It's a tough economy, man.
Where's my Palantir? Aurora Cannabis, sitting $3.17 a share, parked hard.
We're on cannabis.
Aurora Cannabis.
Oh.
Palantir, $25.81 a share. I got a whole share of Palantir, and I probably bought that at more like $36. Let's look. Did you know we were doing a stock segment? Oh, I'm only down 2.46% on Palantir all time. Okay, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Hold for Palantir unless we radically change the structure of our nation. That's the thing. I'm holding stock in Palantir in case they kill RFK. Because if RFK gets in there, Palantir is going to plummet because the CIA is going to get dismantled.
Yeah.
However, if they kill RFK, Palantir's going up because the CIA is going to be more powerful than ever. Or they're going to restore their former glory or whatever they think. I don't want anyone to get hurt.
The Kennedys, man, they're cursed.
Can you say that into the microphone?
The Kennedys, they might be cursed.
The Kennedys might be cursed. No Antics. We're going to Lawrence, Kansas right now. Next weekend, we're going to be in Indianapolis and Cleveland. Then following weekend, we're going to be in Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I love the great state of Wisconsin. I may move there at some point. If you find that I invested in an estate in the milk country.
The cheese state, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yep, the cheese state. I love going for the cheese. I went as a child on a pilgrimage up to the Mall of America, and we went through the Wisconsin Dells. It had cheese curds in a large van. It was a Ford Osage E-Class 250, I think.
Osage.
And it had curtains that you would, like accordion-style curtains.
Yeah.
And we had a big TV that would sit in the middle here, and we could watch VHS tapes in the
cool.
back as children. We would watch Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Air Force One with Harrison Ford.
Okay.
What else? The Goofy movie.
Ooh, I know that one.
And that song from the Goofy movie that the guy does at the end was Tevin Campbell, who was a protege of Prince.
Ooh.
And Rosie Gaines, who sings on Diamonds and Pearls by Prince, is on Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie.
Trivia.
But if you listen to it as a Prince fan, you're like, that's very familiar. And he won a Grammy for a song he did for Happy Feet. Song of the Heart, I want to say. Not a Grammy, an Oscar. I thought. You can fact check me on that. You can fact check me on that.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Sound off in the comments. And you see how easy this is? These are Japanese microphones.
Yeah.
And I just think that what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing
We could all use a little more love.
that there's just too little love. Burt Bacharach. You don't know that song?
No, I don't think so.
You don't know Burt Bacharach? Okay, we'll be right back.
From Rock.
Back on the road, I think I'm frostbitten. It's a little chilly out there today. If you're in the sun, you're good. If you're in the car, especially in the sun, we got very warm. So I didn't bring my jacket on this fucking hike Molly made me do.
It wasn't.
We had to go see General Custard's cabin where he murdered his whole family on Halloween in 1874. And
Love of custard.
yeah, for the love of custard. They sell custard there now. Nobody was there with the custard. It looks like somebody drops it off. It's sort of an honor system. You put money in a little, it's like a coffee can. And, shooting that B-roll, my fingers are just, they feel like they were cold for an extended period of time.
It was a little nippy.
I'm going to be okay, though. And Dr. Drew says you can't, or maybe it was Dave Murray that says you can't really get sick just because you're cold for a little bit. That's not how you get sick.
I trust Dave Murray.
Now, changes in an environment around weather and temperature could influence your exposure to, different bugs in different ways. But, symptomology is usually caused by a virus or a bacteria or some sort of a disease.
Yeah. I went down.
Not just I was walking around the woods unexpectedly for 20 minutes with no jacket.
I went down that slide and got a wet bum.
You went down the slide and
Big old puddle.
And it was wet in the slide?
Yeah.
Where would you attribute the wetness?
Like, mainly the right cheek.
No, on the slide.
Oh. It was like at the top of the slide. So
and you kind of came down, you were on your right hip probably,
yeah.
And then exposing your right buttocks to the puddle in the slide.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what was in that puddle? You may not have long. Did you get any of the water in your nose?
No.
That could be bad if it gets in your nose.
Yeah, stagnant water.
Well, just there's a brain-eating amoeba that if you get fresh water in your nose and that fresh water is infected with this brain-eating amoeba, it will latch onto your sinus cavity and then begin to eat your fucking brain. It's a big problem in Lake Austin right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I heard about it on a podcast. I love a Hy-Vee. This Hy-Vee is maybe not the best one, but I do love a Hy-Vee. If that's Hy-Vee, that means there's a Greek pizza place over here that my wife loves. We're in Columbia right now on our way out of the Rockbridge State Park. That may not be exactly where the Greek pizza place is, but it could be. I think it's right over. I think there's places over there, and I think it's one of those places. Shout out Central Bank, Hy-Vee, Jacob V. Weekly. We are on the road with No Antics and going to Lawrence, Kansas.
2/5 of No Antics in this car.
No, right. The caravan has dispersed momentarily because Molly went to go use a restroom. Me, myself, I pissed in the woods.
Yeah.
Because this is America. And, I had an uncle who was killed by the Japanese in World War II, and my grandmother never let me forget that. And something about that relates to how I'm feeling right now, because that she would bring it up at times like this.
He was a martyr.
I don't know that he knew that. This looks just like Zumbell Road in St. Charles. But it's not. We're in Columbia. Get me out of here. There's a Waffle House, though. That makes me feel a little bit better about where we are. Tyler plays bass in No Antics. Tyler, what do you like about playing bass in No Antics? Nice and loud, please.
I like, I don't know, I just like coming up with riffs, and I like working off of what Molly and Dee Dee give me. I got the freedom to just make whatever.
You don't think I ever give you anything?
Well, you gave me something for South.
See? See? That's the only time I've ever given you anything.
Maybe not the only time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because maybe I need to give you more stuff.
We could definitely use a few more Jacob songs in the catalog.
You're telling me, sister.
Oh, we're about to pass Mizzou.
Mizzou! My wife went to Mizzou. The J school. She was in a J sorority, but she went to the J school, and those are different J's. And she's actually a marketing genius. She's going to be on the road with us the next 2 weekends. She didn't come on this one because it's just the one day.
Oh, both weekends? Nice.
Yeah, she's coming both weekends. She's going to run the merch table, and she is, going to help out. And she's kind of my marketing genius. When I have something I want to do, she helps me talk through how to build out a plan to make it stand out.
It'd be nice to finally meet her.
Oh yeah, she's been to a couple of our shows, the big ones. She was at the album release.
Oh, okay.
She was in the balcony with my elderly parents.
Gotcha. Low key.
Yeah, she's been to maybe 2 of them at Off-Broadway. The album release, and then I think the one we did before that. With Blonde Guru. Because she loves Off-Broadway, and her and I have seen a lot of great shows there. Some places I play a lot she doesn't like as much, just because she doesn't necessarily feel comfortable in a crowd.
Yeah,
and so
that's understandable.
And whatnot, and so in an environment where and we've done it so much because I've played so much, and then we've gone to see so many shows together, especially since COVID. It's like she's just not really into opening back up to being up close, breathing with people. You know what I mean? Erykah Badu came to town, and I had gotten 2 tickets because I assumed I would take my wife. Because I've bought single tickets to shows before, and it's not gone well. Like, I bought single tickets to Dave Chappelle when he did the pageant several years ago, and I sat between 2 couples and laughed by myself.
They didn't laugh at all?
No. Oh no! I mean, but they could laugh at each other. She could laugh and grab him.
Yeah.
He could laugh and
you're just laughing
and sock her in the face.
Yeah.
And I was just in the middle, like, whoa! So I don't do that. But now it was a little close to reopening after COVID. Erykah Badu at the Fox Theater, and so I went and I just had the extra seat. But if you look at the average size of people when the Fox Theater was built, and you look at the average size of, say, Erykah Badu's top 1% listeners on Spotify in St. Louis, those sizes are different. So having an extra seat next to me the whole time that was empty was actually by the grace of God.
A blessing.
Because I bought the end of the aisle, or the end of the row of seats, so I could be on the aisle, because that was going to be Keenan's seat. So she would just have me next to her and not have somebody else next to her.
Yeah.
And then, but then she didn't want to go at all. And I had my 2 friends going. They were seated in the seats right in front of me. And so I just had an extra seat. I could sprawl out. And I was mixing psilocybin into my regimen at this time.
Nice. Like
pretty heavy that day for me.
Microdosing?
Well, usually, but probably like 3x on a microdose that day. So that's like approaching normal small dose.
Just like
low
a
dose.
Trip, basically.
We went from microdose to low dose.
Yeah.
And like some people do a low dose Xanax so they can sleep because they are victims of crimes, And some people do a low-dose aspirin every day just to keep their valves clicking. You know what I mean? Because they that whole thing. So I was on a noticeable dose mixed in with my cannabis regime. And there's an Erykah Badu video where she is walking. I've shown you this window seat where she's walking and she ends up in the spot where JFK was assassinated, but completely naked because she's walking in slow motion and removing her clothes the whole time. It's a great video.
Very artistic.
Yeah, I'm an artist. It had nothing to do with the video, but it was an inspiration to me. I just think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she was playing that song, and I was going to tell, it was like the experience of being on laughing gas where you start laughing, but not even at the thing that you thought was going to be funny. You know what I mean? And so I think, I should lean forward and explain to my friends why I love this video and how crazy it is. But then I realized it was 3 chubby gay dudes in a sea of plus-size black women. And it would have been one of the chubby gay dudes leaning to the other chubby gay dudes and screaming, because you have to scream to hear, about JFK at an Erykah Badu concert. And then the idea of how hilarious that would be to witness that as one of the middle-aged black women at the Erykah Badu show really just gave me a chuckle. And then my friends turned around and saw me dying laughing to myself and trying to explain to them what was so funny, but I couldn't because it was so funny. And they just looked at each other like, he's really fucked up. And they just enjoyed the concert because they were in the row in front of me, so they could act like they didn't know me. I had given them permission.
There you go. Was it a good turnout?
It was a great show. She took forever to get to the stage, and then her dancers all came out and did like a 15-minute warm-up piece, like ramping us up or whatever, but it was too long. But the show itself was great. She sings. Actually, her voice live, you realize what range she has, and she can really belt when she wants to. She can really hit high notes. But her records aesthetically were very like chill a lot of the time and mellow, and the neo soul thing was about a vibe so much that you forget listening to her records how powerful of a singer she is, because her records are sort of understated in a way that I very enjoy. And I think minimalism and really knowing when to dial it back is a sign of genius. But it's just to say that that's what elevates her live for me, is sometimes she can, do runs and stuff that she doesn't do on the record. So you listen to a lot of Erykah Badu?
Not enough. She's amazing.
Yeah, the bass is good. The bass that night was really smooth. He was I've seen him play with her before. I don't know his name, but and I just bring him up because I'm picturing him in my head, and you play bass in a band called No Antics.
Yeah.
You're also in Harmon Dobson.
Yeah.
And you guys are coming on the show soon. We tried to get it done this week, but it's a little too much, a little too soon.
We're trying to get a show in May, but Brady's schedule.
Well, yeah, and that's hard. People are people.
So we're trying to just dial in on some recording.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too. I think everyone needs to be farming the content right now, because I think everyone needs to get to a point where they're releasing a new song of their own every month.
Yeah, because we got a lot of songs, queued up.
Yeah, and I think that's every 4 weeks for a brand new track. If you're also going to do a video with it, and you can build content out from around that or whatever, I think you can have a really healthy progression of content if you did that for a year.
Yeah.
Instead of releasing an album at the end of the year, do a song a month, and
what we're doing.
Exactly what it's exactly the thing, because build some traction and some momentum with that, like we did with the 6 singles, and then you could do an LP or an EP if that's depending on the micro genre that you're in as an artist. You want to determine, okay, what are people doing that we really like, right? So some scenes, some subgenres of music have people do cassette tapes still or again or whatever, and I own several that I buy from people because it's like sometimes they're $5 or $10 and it helps them out, and it's cool to have or whatever. And some people do an EP. if you play certain forms of metal, an LP may only be 35 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like a grindcore album would be like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And so, exactly. Right. And so that's something, you got to think about and decide for yourself. I think for us, doing an LP was really important for us to feel like we were real and valuable, and we had a full-length experience for people that want that, but we also have extra stuff on top of that that's great that,
I'm really proud of our Spotify right now. It's really growing. Like, we got so much. We got like the 6 singles, the album, and we already got 2 new singles. It looks cool, like seeing the...
My problem is I can't remember what all we have if it's not on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, when I go look at Spotify, I'm like, look at all these songs. I know how to play all these songs. How's that one start? Okay, great.
Yeah.
But if it's not on Spotify, it's hard for me to do. My last couple solo shows, like as a solo artist, I only... What?
No, I just looked at how many miles.
You rolled your eye. I said as a solo artist, and you rolled your eyes so hard.
I looked at how many miles.
117 miles to our exit. And we're starting with, as a solo artist, my last couple shows.
That was just bad timing.
Like my last show with Chris, we did a Bluewood before he moved to Atlanta. And I want to go down there and do some shows there. I only played stuff that the people could immediately go pull up and save on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like even my new song that I'm talking about finishing with Molly at Lucius's studio, Doorstop Studio, it's not actually new. It was on my live album in 2019, and I wrote it several years before that, but it's never had a studio version. That's Relics. It's on my live album, Every Day Is My Birthday, live at the Heavy Anchor, recorded in 2019.
Is that the show you did in the dress?
Yeah, in the wedding dress. And that song's on there, and I also recorded it. I have it on vinyl. I recorded it in the record booth at Third Band.
Nice.
And I'm doing a bunch of remixes of it. So I'm going to do like the single and then like an EP of like different versions of the song.
I would love to put Femme Grime on vinyl.
And I think I think there's, if we can grow the capital at that point, if we sell all this merch,
that'd be great.
There's budget for vinyl, but vinyl also takes a long time, and we're already cranking on trying to get it out on a reasonable timeline. And for Blinded by Stereo, the record came out like a year before the vinyl did. Like it was online like a year before, because it was after the pandemic. We recorded it in quarantine, and
we're already getting close to the 1-year anniversary of Femme Grime.
Yeah, it'll be, is that July
6th?
That could be in the time frame that I'm opening for Bret Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
It could be July.
Bret Michaels and Luda.
Yeah, together. That would be great. They should do a collab. I should use my influence to bring them together. I'll build a track. I'll get Luda to do 16 bars on it to open it up, and then I'll bring it to Bret Michaels, and he'll do the hook.
We'll record it at Molly's.
No. We'll just record it like this.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring my nice microphone, and I'll just go up to Ludacris and say, listen, can you just give me, I have this beat, can you just give me 16 bars about anything? You can tell me about the shit you took this morning, Mr. Chris. And then I'll bring it to Bret Michaels and say, Bret, I got you a collab with Ludacris. You're going to sing this hook. I just need to take iPhone video of you singing into the microphone one time, and then I'll take care of the rest. Expect an email from DistroKid. Not a sponsor, but should be. I've done all my releases with DistroKid.
Yeah, shout out to DistroKid.
They were brand new when I did my first record with Lucius McQueen. I'll make you listen to some of that. We put it out with DistroKid because I didn't want to give TuneCore all that money. TuneCore used to be or still lets you pay per release annually. So if you have like 5 singles out there, you could be giving TuneCore like 60, 70, 80 bucks a year, whereas DistroKid was like, give us one price and then you can unlimited releases.
Who runs Distro?
I forget his name because all his handles are just at DistroKid on stuff, but he was very transparent about what DistroKid was supposed to be when it first started, and I would follow him. I still follow them on Twitter or whatever it is now.
They're a great help to the smaller.
Well, and it just makes so much more sense, and you could pay just a little bit more, and it'll automatically add your music to news stores as they become available, which is the big thing for me. It's like, okay, it's on YouTube and Apple and Spotify and Deezer and all these different places, Amazon, but if all of a sudden people get really into Tidal, I want to make sure that it's on Tidal. which it is, but I'm just saying.
Are we on Tidal?
Yeah, we should be. And Tidal, if you pay for the...
That's Jay-Z's streaming, right?
Well, originally, yeah, it was launched as co-owned by, like, Jay-Z and Beyonce and Madonna and Jack White and, like, tons of famous people. I don't know how much of them are still heavily involved. But the biggest thing about Tidal is it's the only place where you can stream the full quality version of the song.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can stream the lossless, they call it, wave file of the master track of the song. As opposed to Spotify's only MP3s.
Yeah.
And like this podcast, because of Spotify, I can only upload as an MP3. Because Spotify won't integrate it into their feed if it's not an MP3.
Yeah.
And so, which is a problem, because it means everything you listen to is compressed that much. Even though MP3s sound better than, they probably ever have, that wave quality is what was on a CD.
Yeah.
Full lossless quality wave files is what if you used to rip it off a CD, that's what those were supposed to be, and they sound better. They're just less compressed. It's higher definition. It's like going from 4K down to 720.
Is Bandcamp wave files? Because
Bandcamp makes you upload the full quality lossless wave.
Because I've noticed that.
And also, you reminded me, there's a market for this, right? And so I've actually made for sale on patreon.com/JacobV. We have an anthology of the full quality versions of a bunch of my releases.
Yeah.
And that people can buy outright there without having to be a member every month. And they just get a folder with all the wave files, all the master files of old records I did and singles and stuff. And because if they don't have Tidal, and they don't buy it outright on Bandcamp, which it's not all even on Bandcamp, you know what I mean? Then they don't have access to the full quality of the thing. And when you're working with DIY artists, it's important to try to pursue the best quality version of stuff because, they don't have the capital to drive that top shelf, premium, clean quality in everything.
Like Bandcamp.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I wish they had invested more in growing their app about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And
the interface isn't the best.
And but it's a great resource for artists, but it's kind of like how Google Classroom is for teachers. Google Classroom makes it really easy to assign things and hand things out, but it doesn't mean that the kids are even going to know it's in there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're even going to interact with it at all. And it's the same thing with Bandcamp. It makes it really easy to have, it looks just like the old MySpace music pages.
It does. Yeah.
It's exactly, because that's the thing. They're like, okay, what if we made a product for people that want that, which is independent artists who want a place where, they have...
They make it so easy to just
and you can sell merch and stuff there.
Yeah.
Blinded by Stereo's vinyl record is only available to buy online through Bandcamp. So if you want one of those, you are setting me up for plugs so good today.
And you can even pay a little more if you really fuck with the artist. You can be like, oh, I'm gonna throw them an extra. You can pay whatever you want. It'll say $12 for the album, but you can pay $15.
And that was something that Radiohead did with In Rainbows. That was really big, and the Name Your Price thing. And then Radiohead has always tried to make their releases different. They did one where it was on a flash drive, and you had to have a certain app to play it or something. And then Omar Rodriguez Lopez, for a while, I think, had his own app, I want to say, or maybe I just thought that he should. But kind of what fueled Patreon, I think, is that okay, give me a membership fee every month. Instead of you giving $9 to Apple Music every month, give me $4. You have access to all of this exclusive content. You get stuff ahead of time, blah, blah, blah. I think Omar Rodriguez Lopez from the Mars Volta was doing that. I think he had an app where he was you could listen to all of the stuff he had ever done, kind of like how Louis C.K. does with his website. You could buy all of the stuff there. It's not the most efficient, especially now because people don't interact. They don't want to interact with files.
Yeah.
People don't. There was a small period of time where we thought, oh, this is perfect. I can put the CD on the computer, and then the songs from the CD are in the computer, and I can put them on my iPod. People don't want to do that. They just want to say, listen, I want to listen to Elton John. Open my phone. Here's Elton John. I can do it right now. I can tell my phone, play me some Elton John. I do it at home all the time. I'll say, the girl's name, and then I'll say what to do, and she'll just play the music, right? So doing that in a completely isolated platform like your own app or website doesn't really make sense, because you want to be wherever the people are. I think YouTube's coming back in a big way.
Instant access.
And you want to funnel those people off platform, but not too obviously. You want to create an incentive for them to come off platform, but you don't want to cover your content and stuff that says leave YouTube, because YouTube will get mad.
The YouTube game is hard.
And the YouTube game is really hard. It's like, it's like trying to sell weed at a high school graduation. It's like there's a way to do it.
Or it's like trying to sell weed on the corner of a dispensary.
Yeah.
Because like
that has coupons.
The algorithm is so weird on YouTube nowadays. Like it's hard to get views.
Well, it's upsetting to me because I fell in love with the internet in the 90s as a child, when it was supposed to be this ultimate frontier of freedom and access.
Yeah, which it was for a minute.
Yeah, but Google and Apple have really boiled it down to, look, just use the internet for these very specific things that we control.
Yeah.
And it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be not very pretty, not very user-friendly, but completely open.
Yeah, I miss the days when you
that's
could
how YouTube started. YouTube,
Yeah, I miss the days when you could just like literally look up a movie on YouTube.
But the thing people are complaining about is the same thing. It's... No one is guaranteed a built-in audience anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seth Meyers finally got his own late-night talk show, and nobody cares. Nobody watches Seth Meyers.
Nobody who watches talk shows.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like it's like winning an American Music Award now.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares about the AMAs now? But in the 80s, the AMAs were just like the Grammys. They were huge. It was a big deal. Who even cares about Grammys now, really? Yeah. I only knew they happened because they arrested poor Killer Mike.
Yeah, shout out Killer Mike.
Shout out Killer Mike. He's a true genius and a visionary.
He beat Drake and Travis Scott, which I'm
And he's a fabulous rapper. We're going to go play some of the new Killer Mike here in a minute.
Yeah. And well, when I first heard he won, I was like, oh, man. I felt like there were better albums last year than Killer Mike, but I didn't realize he was going up against Travis Scott and Drake. So I was like, well, you know what? Shout out to the Grammys for finally picking someone other than, Drake or Travis Scott.
Yeah, they picked the darkest skinned dude in the bunch, which is brave.
And like the most underground dude.
Yeah. The most independent, the most controversial maybe in his
he's OG.
rhetoric.
He was on Stankonia.
And he's a positive influence. He talks very articulately about very important things, and I love him. And
snapping and trapping.
I love that.
2000.
And we were talking about something else though that was so important. We're really rounding the corner on something good before the Grammy. Who cares about AMA? Winning an AMA now is like working on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, you're not guaranteed a built-in audience, even though it's not the easiest to put your own independent content out there and follow all the guidelines and compete with the stuff that YouTube is pushing. You know what I mean? However, if you're on a TV show on another network and you're talking to people that are watching a different network, your number one job is to say, hey, this other channel exists. This is where you can find it. They used to say what channel it was before there was so much diversity in people's programming. They used to say, go to channel whatever. And on the radio, you'll hear, come to 97 whatever on this day, and I'm talking about this. And so having it on YouTube is brilliant because it's freely accessible to anybody. You can just give them a QR code. Those are coming back, apparently. You could send them a link, whatever. If I'm working with a band that I don't always work with, you could send them YouTube links to a song you want to learn because you don't have to worry about who has Spotify, who has whatever. You know what I mean? And but the problem is, intrinsically in YouTube, you're not going to just gradually grow followers without driving people to your stuff yourself in some way.
It's hard to get an audience. It's hard to get an audience, and it's hard to keep an audience.
Because also, if I watch something on YouTube, I never click in any of the links in the description. I don't even look at them.
Yeah.
And I want to put more energy into that part of like this show, for example, but I know I don't interact with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's going to happen is I'm going to see something on somebody's podcast and then I'm going to want to see it again later because it's going to be stuck in my brain, and then I'm going to seek them out. And I may go in my YouTube history to find their name, but that's really all I need. You just put your name in the fucking title and make great content and try to get people driving to it. Or I know you could give a guy $1,500 in Atlanta and he'll get you 2 million hits on YouTube overnight. But I don't think YouTube likes that either.
We are sandwiched, right? Yeah. Oh, we're rolling.
Fucking legs. I need ice. I should have stopped for ice. So I owe the entire No Antics community an apology because we are at
case real quick.
This case.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You were blocking Miles.
I owe the entire No Antics community an apology because we are in a Super 8 right now.
It's super great.
Oh my God.
There's Tyler.
The lighting's not bad from this angle, but if you've seen this, we're probably all dead. And we're playing tonight in Lawrence, Kansas.
Help us.
And I shared my location with my mother and my father, and my wife knows where I am, but I don't know if they're going to do anything about it. And I think people are living here. And
no, there definitely is at least one dude because he gave me a very side eye when I walked out of the room. Like, since when the fuck you been here?
Yeah, he's like, I've been living here for a minute, and who are you?
And he was blasting some phone music. Like, just straight off.
He lives here. He probably has this whole floor to himself, usually.
Well, there is, like, no other cars here, so it is curious.
I think the safest thing for us to do is to sleep on the floor in front of the door ourselves and barricade the door with our asses. Diesel? Tell me about the tour experience so far.
So, we didn't make any of the stops we wanted to. That is, yeah, correct. We made the first one, but we just went to the wrong side of the park, and there was not enough time. Yeah, we saw a cool cabin that creaked like a haunted house, and that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying.
But we got some photos in there. Oh my God, you think I should grab my camera out of my car? We have the guitars and stuff are in there too, though.
Nobody, I'm not bringing my...
We ate good barbecue.
Is this live? No. Okay. Someone's like hearing us debate
Miles and
our gear situation. That's really exciting for live video. Should I?
What is exciting though is that Miles and I will be live streaming.
Yeah, we can't see the cars.
Us sleeping face to ace.
Ace to ace. Not usually, no.
That just seems stupid to take back out.
We've done it before, but only in Kyrgyz, but only in like sketchy cities.
Like where? What's an example?
Trying to think where. I think in Memphis we brought our shit in.
Memphis, yeah, but people should do that in St. Louis too.
And yeah, we brought our shit in like Charleston, West Virginia, because it's basically like a Peoria, Illinois, just nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, his stuff's in there. Now you're getting worried, like, oh no, the only female sleeping alone.
I hadn't worried about anybody else before. I wanted you to have like your safe.
Yeah, well, that's why I said if there's another bed, yeah, I'm not gonna take the whole ass room. So it's not like just one martyr. There's. I mean. What's he doing? What's this new life? Let's talk about this.
The real thing to do is if somebody breaks is... So I'm assuming...
We hold them down and we schmalg them.
I'm assuming it'll be dark.
Racist.
The room will be dark. And this is what we're all going to do. We're not going to yell. We're not going to scream. we're gonna do this. We're all just gonna start going. And that'll scare him off.
It probably already scared him. We're gonna get a knock here in a minute.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
I would be
She's gonna have to.
scared of
The poor girl is gonna have to queue out of her lobby on Warzone to come up here and say, do you guys have a pterodactyl in there?"
I'll be the pterodactyl. You bark. Miles, you start clapping them cheeks and make as much noise as you
It's like,
can.
oh my god, it's.
Can you feel the love?
Yeah. If anybody breaks in, we need Miles to start clapping his cheeks violently.
I wonder how close we are to the venue.
I remember you looked it up and it wasn't that far.
I wonder.
But apparently the downtown Lawrence area is supposed to be nice, so Sean and Evan said it'd be cool to walk around. Replay Lounge. They are here. They were skating, and I haven't checked my phone in a bit. I'm sure Sean has updated me.
We are 6 minutes from the replay.
That's awesome.
Oh, see, I did something right.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Should we go?
So this is our first time out of town.
And we
Squad.
didn't even get out of St. Louis without some issues, so I'm gonna...
Yeah.
Tyler, you want to take this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to U-Haul and
They got fucked in the ace.
we got fucked in the ace. Did not go well.
Assumptions.
Assuming makes an ace out of you and me.
What did they say? They said, "Oh, that's not going to work."
Well, we didn't have the we didn't.
Out the lot if you don't like it.
So you hooked it.
I'm surprised they didn't let you off Gravoy and Bates or wherever.
Oh,
They had...
You were just out of town recently with Kirkos?
Yeah.
Where?
Where were we most recently?
Miles.
Hold up.
This dude's out of town like every other week.
Let me see. We went to Dayton and Cincinnati.
Where'd you play in Dayton?
This newer spot. I forgot what it's called. It was
Miles.
Hold up. Let's see. Oh, the Hidden Gem.
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
I think it's new. It was a nice room, but it was terrible weather that night, so we didn't get many people out. Snowing and all that.
Oh.
Yeah.
$3 cover.
$3?
$3 cover. Well, that should help attendance then. Well, that's cutting edge. Maybe it's the hot new thing. Maybe there's 1,000 people there. That's why there's people in all those videos of that other band, because the cover here is $3.
What the fuck?
Hey, our first tour, if it didn't go terribly, are we a real band?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I don't
this
think it's
is-
gone terribly
I think
yet.
it's-
How was Kirkos' first time on the road? Like attendance.
Hey,
hit or
can
miss.
can you guys swap some on the road horror stories real quick while I change clothes? I just feel really disgusting.
Yeah. We haven't had that many horror stories, really. I'm trying to think.
Oh, come on. What?
I mean, it's all gone fairly smooth.
Okay, well,
Wait, on the road of horror story?
yes, when Freethinker played in Omaha in this venue, apparently the entire power supply for the room we were in was situated right behind the drum stool, and Cody leaned back stretching in a break in the songs, unplugged the power to pretty much the whole building, and we had to stop and the whole venue come and fix it, and then we had to restart our set after they were all pissed at us because we just pulled the power and could have shorted half the shit in there.
Ooh.
It was more than $3, I'll tell you that, but hopefully we have more people there tonight then.
That's dumb as ace.
I've never heard of $3, but it also looks like like kind of like get down dive bar kind of
I want to
venue.
find out if that's a cover or a surcharge.
It said cover. Yeah, on the event page on Facebook, it is $3 cover.
Did the bands look young?
Yeah, but if they're like college aged, they can still be over 21.
Caramba.
Young to me is college age. I am almost 30.
I was saying
Yeah.
they're in college and they're not. Most.
Half of them. Half of them.
Are you 21 in college?
Yeah.
Wait.
You turn 21 in junior year.
Oh, okay.
So you don't start college, but yeah, you turn 19 your freshman year, 20 your sophomore year, and 21 your junior year. So yeah, we will luckily. Hello, any and all KU. Oh wait, we are at KU, correct? I don't know.
KU, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk.
There we go. Any and all juniors and seniors eligible to drink alcohol. I know this isn't live, but support us.
We need you. We need you.
We gonna be alright.
Hey, I ate donuts. I cannot.
Yeah, 5 makes more sense to me. The 3 is really like, do you want people to have change? But maybe that's what they want. Yeah, booze, pinball, and rock is their thing. 13,000 likes, though. Apparently it's a popular place. And there's a record label out of it. Yeah, so it's kind of like that, probably.
Yeah, I mean, let's fuck Ace.
Miles, I will say one thing, is you better not fart in my face.
Only in my ace.
Yeah, you better not.
Only if we're ace to ace.
Unless you want to go to my ace.
I'll go to your
What are you watching?
Ooh, they have to-go replay cocktails available 5 to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. You can just grab a cocktail to go. Apparently.
Cocktails?
Back in the van with Tyler, I think originally the plan was to swap seats with somebody in the other car and do a pod with them. But after last night, I was grateful for the serenity of the Tabone. And excellent, very successful show in Lawrence, Kansas at the Replay Lounge. Go listen to City Hall from Lawrence, Kansas. They have one song out right now. They have another one coming in a couple weeks. Really, really good stuff. Wyla was great. Wyla was really nice. Very groovy, beautiful guitar tones. Lovely instrumental segments. Really nice, dreamy kind of vocal vibes. Just great. And No Antics, despite how small the stage was and some electrical and radio interference and whatnot, very, very happy with the set overall. Ended up paying for all the accommodations and stuff, so we're very lucky. And grateful to the people of Lawrence, Kansas, filling the Replay Lounge on spring break. Amazing. Better than expected. Well enough to not complain about it. It was emotional. It was hard to get across the finish line. We almost got ejected from a Super 8 by Wyndham. And will not be staying in that specific one again. Nothing terrible happened. It just is. It doesn't look like it's open, but it is. And it's fine. Lovely barbecue yesterday. We had Joe's Barbecue, Kansas City, on 47th Avenue. I had 2 of the lunch specials. I had the burnt end lunch special, one with onion rings and one with potato salad. And the onion rings were fired fresh. When I said onion rings, he said, "Onion rings!" And somebody else said, "Heard!" And they got my onion rings. The fries were beautiful. The orders of fries are giant. They have one guy working a fryer back there for the fries and the onion rings, and he's just cranking them out. The burnt ends were lovely, succulent. Kansas City barbecue is a little darker than I'm used to. Like, it's not very pink. The brisket wasn't pink. The burnt ends weren't pink, but that's fine because it was all flavorful and juicy and wonderful and smoked perfectly. I had one of Dee Dee's ribs. My friend Alfred Ludwig, friend of the show, has been on before. He's from Kansas City, or was at one point, or whatever, and he said those were the best ribs in the city. So, however we feel about them, those are the best ones. And I liked it. It's a... Yeah. What else? Really, really positive.
I feel like I had more fun than I did than the album release. And that was like our most successful show.
I think also that's because we had played off Broadway before, and so having a positive experience there, we're like, oh, this is just the next version of that. Whereas this, we'd never even been here before, and so just the fact that we don't regret coming, really good. Oh yeah, the kids from City Hall came up to me and said, "You're like a wizard."
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's what they tell me in Blinded by Stereo. Sometimes people will say, "You're like a wizard," because I'll play guitar and keyboard and I have a beard.
People like seeing the instrument swaps.
Yeah, they like that a lot.
I saw a fight break out.
Well, that guy was too drunk. The guy that was in front of me, and he had almost knocked over my keyboards when I was setting them up. And then so I think he just bumped somebody, and somebody was an asshole about it.
Yeah,
but he didn't really want to fight.
I saw a punch, though. I saw a punch.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. And then right after,
He was rocking out.
it kind of like...
But the guy that was really upset, his friends walked him out.
Yeah.
And the drunk guy stayed there and rocked out. He loved me. He would get real up in me like this, and he'd look in between my keyboards at my hands.
I had a guy come up mid-set and shake my hand and said something like I was killing it.
So that's great. I just want the people to be happy, because there's so many situations where you're at risk of exposing people to live music who don't really want it. And
Someone told me in Miles that they love us so much.
yeah. So, No Antics, Flames and Post, out now on all platforms. Fembots came out a couple months ago. That was about, I told this story 3 different times on stage last night, that because we were sorting through some technical stuff, we needed a new mic stand. But Fembots is about when I would get ejected from either Del Mar Hall or the pageant for being too hammered drunk, and then I would try to sleep on the trolley platform. Which I guess the platform will stay there because it's concrete, but the trolley's probably not coming back. So I like to think about that.
Yeah, you did really good banter.
Well, people that know me know that sometimes I have better banter than material to perform. So, at one point Molly said I was playing the wrong thing, which I fundamentally disagree with. I do not think it was me. But there was one point where we were getting some kind of sound coming out of your bass amp that wasn't even you.
Is that what that was?
I think we were getting like RF interference into your bass. I think it could have something to do with the outlets we were plugged into. Because I bet you we were on the same circuit as all those pinball machines. You know what I mean? So you're plugging a fucking 500-watt bass amp into the same outlet as 6 pinball machines that are all lit up, even if they're not in working order.
Shout out to the pinball machine. It was fun.
Yeah, you better pray to God.
It's pretty thick glass. I think I would have to really crash on it, which I didn't do. I gracefully laid on it, and then kind of jumped off it a little bit. And shout out to London for letting me use his amp.
London from Harmon Dobson, a scholar and a gentleman. London Tyler Lowe.
His amp's a little different, though. It was hard to get the volume.
Well, and just the first band was having trouble with it, and I realized the highs were dimed. They had the treble knob turned all the way up, and that'll make it sound funky. You don't want that. That's not what you want, especially with a PVT 60 like he was playing. I can't believe that kid showed up to a gig with a PVT 60.
And I'm so bad with just gear. I need to get better at the gear.
Yeah, say it again.
I need to get better at learning gear.
I can teach you. You believe I can teach you?
Probably, yeah.
What's your favorite color?
I feel like I like a dark purple.
Where were you on 9/11?
First grade, I actually kind of remember it a little bit. I remember kids getting pulled out of school, but my parents didn't pull me out of school. I remember.
You were probably safer at school.
Yeah, I remember kids getting pulled out and shit. It was kind of scary though. I remember seeing those videos and shit.
Where were you when you found out Michael Jackson died?
Actually, I was at a friend's house, an old. A friend of mine since fucking first grade, Dominic. Shout out Dominic. we're at his dad's place. I actually do remember where I was. I know. And I think it was like I spent the night or something, and I think it was like that morning, like I knew my mom was coming to get me, and then like we heard on the news that he passed. And even as like I don't know, I was like 12 or some shit. Even then I was just like, oh damn, Michael Jackson just passed.
What about when Anna Nicole Smith died?
That one I don't think.
Okay, we found the line. 9/11, MJ, Anna Nicole. I was in very similar places when Michael Jackson died as toward Anna Nicole Smith. I remember being at the same intersection, actually, in front of the Kirkwood Deli. And my girlfriend at the time answered the phone and was talking to her sister. She said, "Oh, she died?" And I said, "Who the fuck are y'all talking about?" Anna Nicole Smith, R.I.P., friend of the show. And Michael Jackson, similarly. I remember seeing it on TMZ. It must have been Facebook because it was 2009. And well, he was abusing prescription, like medical grade narcotics, and he had a doctor on retainer that would just let him take anesthetic drugs to go to sleep every night. And I mean, that's all you can do anymore is raise it up in prayer. Any church growing up?
Actually, no.
None.
Surprisingly.
None at all.
With how much guilt I have for some reason, you would think I was raised.
You felt like maybe you weren't deserving of church.
No, not that. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Your parents just didn't vibe with the organization, so they didn't feel the need to put you in one.
My mom's Catholic. My dad got baptized like 6-7 years ago, but then like just kind of, I don't know, maybe it was a weird phase for him. But yeah.
I had a summer where I was talking to the Jehovah's Witnesses a lot because they were sending a real pretty girl to my house.
Yeah.
And she said, "Can I pray with you?" And I said, "Of course." And she said, "Can I share some scripture with you?" And I said, "Yes." But they would never send her by herself, so I didn't end up following up.
Yeah, you didn't get the digits.
No. She told me, actually, I only have one digit, and it's 4, and that's the number of horsemen in Revelations.
That's smooth.
And I said, "You got me."
You got me there.
Yeah, Kirkwood, they have Caucasian Jehovah's Witnesses, which I didn't know there were much of.
Kirkwood's a little gentrified.
They gentrified the Witnesses?
I guess so.
Prince was a Jehovah's Witness.
Really? Yeah.
And I think that's how Cat Williams grew up, his parents were Jehovah's Witnesses.
That's interesting. I know he's been doing a lot of like 40-yard dashes on it.
Yeah, he can run he can run real fast, and he reads books real fast. He can run and read. He runs across books. And I would go to the library every day and I'd get 20 books.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Because you could only get 20 at a time, and I'd have 20 of them, and I'd go home, and I'd be there 3 times a week.
Was that from his like Drink Champs? Oh no, that wasn't Drink Champs, but yeah.
He doubled down. He said, "I'm the fastest and best looking motherfucker that ever lived." No, that was Rick James. Rick James said, "I'm one of the best singing and dancing and best looking motherfuckers that ever lived."
He also said cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy. And that ring was imprinted on that head of his.
Unity.
And that ring, Unity, was imprinted on that head of his. R.I.P. to Charlie Murphy and Rick James. They're up in heaven right now beating the shit out of each other. Just fist fighting on a couch in the kingdom of heaven. Keep an eye out for the police. Yeah, he's got a canine. He ain't looking for us. He's looking for that Colombian fuego.
In fucking KC?
Well, he's got to make sure it doesn't get to where it's going. Well, because there's it's not an expressway, but there's a connective tissue from Mexico straight up to Canada that comes through on the Kansas side of our great state of Missouri.
I brought Kansas water into Missouri.
I don't know if you should say that on the pod, that you brought Kansas water into Missouri.
Then we stopped at a QT recently in Missouri, and I filled it back up.
Oh, it's Missouri water again? Missouri water is better than Kansas water. I know that for a fact.
The Kansas water and the Missouri water.
See, now you're going to get some kind of demon. You're going to get some kind of parasitic encephalitis of the blowhole.
Yeah, something. Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, you could get a brain-eating amoeba. All those spit takes Dee was doing, he could get a brain-eating amoeba, getting all that water in his nose.
Oh, yeah. He shout out Dee and Miles. They slept on a QT taquito.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we ended up screaming at each other in front of the venue last night because me and Molly were tired and Dee and Miles were drunk and they wanted burritos and nobody was listening to me. And I had to say, guys, we don't have to be upset. We made money and there's a QT literally eye shot from the motel. There's a QT right there. And we only eat QT usually anyway. We run on QT. We've only stopped at QTs on this tour so far. I literally will not stop anywhere that's not a QT, and that's the spirit of my grandfather. He loved QT. He would go Q and T for you and me, T and Q for me and you.
And I don't think all the taquitos were cooked fully because Dee was swinging them around and going like, "This isn't cooked."
Well, and then we woke up this morning and Miles pulled out a bag with a chicken roller and a taquito and something else in it. In the bed with them that they had, they just rolled around on Quick Trip food all night.
Literally. And Dee said that he was kind of like sort of cuddling with Miles at a moment. So that means
the only thing between them was that chicken roller.
They were cuddling on top of a QT taquito, which is amazing.
Isn't that precious?
That might be the most no-antics thing that's ever happened.
How was it in your room? Your room was nicer.
It was probably a lot quieter for you.
It was a lot quieter.
Yeah, me and Molly just kind of... We watched a little bit of South Park.
We watched South Park.
Yeah, it was on Comedy Central, and then we just turned off the...
Miles laid in bed when we got to the hotel before the show, and he said, I need Comedy Central on this TV right now.
Yeah.
That's like the go-to hotel channel.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But when we got back, Dee was hammered drunk, and every time it would leave South Park to go to, advertisements because it's TV, he'd say, "What the fuck is this? What happened to South Park?" Because he's used to watching it on Paramount Plus or whatever.
Heard his voice like
Bro, what the fuck? What is this? What happened to South Park? And it would be like Henry Winkler talking about a reverse mortgage. He'd be like, what a reverse mortgage? What happened to South Park?
Yeah, me and Molly said the same thing. Like, oh shit, yeah, this is cable TV. It's such a trip because none of us watch cable TV.
Well, and the ads are different on cable TV than they are on, say, Hulu or something, because they're going to be for different stuff. It's going to be for a different age group.